All right, we're live. So I am on again today with S. Lee, and you guys that were on yesterday, you saw we talked about a lot, and it's interesting. We just got off a call with somebody that is interested in growing their Google local service ads. They're an attorney that's a criminal attorney, and like I talked about yesterday, and this is hopefully the reason why you're showing up to this call is because you're a business owner that's interested in generating an extra $30,000 to $50,000 or more a month for your business, and hopefully you're already running Google local service ads. That's what my agency does. We help businesses make another $30,000 to $50,000 a month through optimizing their Google business profile, so that they show up on Google, and then also for their to optimize their Google local service ads. And we do that through what I've coined, or I call the 3 R's strategy. So it's reviews, radius, response rate. And the reason why S is on the call is because he is, he's one of my partners in the artificial intelligence side of things, or the agent side of things, where we are building out agents for businesses that will help them to make their life, well, first of all, make their life easier, but more importantly, help them generate more revenue. And the way they do that, and the way that we do that, is, and what we went through yesterday, and we're going to go through on a regular basis, is by making sure that all the phone calls are answered within 30 seconds and all the message leads are responded to within 30 seconds. And what that allows these businesses to do is it allows them to generate more leads. Because really the only thing that businesses, if you're a business or you're a local business, and by the way, if you don't know if you can, run Google local service ads, you can, Google it. You can find out if you can, if you can. I mean, they take all types of businesses, from even doctors, and there's Google Screened, and there's Google Guaranteed. So there's white collar and blue collar. There's plumbers, electricians, contractors, etc. And all those verticals can run what's called Google local service ads. And when you run Google local service ads, you only pay for the phone calls or the message leads that you get. It's optimized for the phone, and which is one of the reasons why I really wanted to show my phone, my camera on my phone, so that you can actually see it on the screen, because I think it's really beneficial for people to see what we're talking about. So, and if you haven't experienced Google local service ads, you can type in, for example, electrician or plumber, etc., on your phone, and you can very easily see the businesses at the top there. Those are typically going to be your Google Screened or Google Guaranteed businesses. And I know, yes, you can show your screen if you want. Are you able to show your screen?
Yeah. I'm not sure. Like, I'm on a desktop here.
Yeah.
Whether it does show the local service ads off the bat, but
It will. Yeah, it should. I mean, it will. I mean, if you type in, for example, like I said, it is optimized for phone, but it will show up for for the desktop. And one of the things that we help this particular business owner with today is for him to understand just how easy it is to set up his business for success. Okay, there you go. Yeah, that's awesome. So it's showing your screen, and
there we go.
Yeah, very large. I love it. And so right at the top there, yeah, if you can blow that up, you can see it says, it's kind of tough for me to see, but if you can see what it's saying, it's electrician. Yeah.
Yep. So I just Googled electrician, and basically the top search result was a local service ad, sponsored electricians. I'm in Boston right now.
Yep.
And EHC, electrical cooling or heating and cooling, and the first calls to action are book and get telephone number.
Yes, exactly. And and this is the reason why. And by the way, if you guys have any questions, please post the questions, because or add the questions. We can post them here and answer those questions for you in real time. So I really, if you have any questions or comments here, I'm going to show you. So this is how we would post them. So live viewer comments show up on screen. This is the tool that we're using. This is an example of, so if you have a comment and you put it in here, then we're going to be able to put it on the screen here, and we're going to be able to answer the question for you. Okay. So please, post any comment that you have, chat it, or just put it in the comment section of any of the live platforms that we're on right now, which we're streaming live to 3 different channels. One is our local service ads channel. The other one's the Accelerate Marketing channel. And the other one's my personal branded channel on YouTube. Eventually, we're going to be streaming live also to X and to Instagram and to Facebook and LinkedIn as well. So, yeah, I want people to see, what we're looking at here, or what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the ability for a business to, even if they're a mom and pop, a one-man show, all the way from that to an enterprise level company that we're dealing with as well. If you really want to generate more leads and get to the top of Google, like you're seeing, you're literally at the very top of Google, then Google local service ads is the way to go. The only other local platform that Google offers, and if you can just go back to that first screen where it shows, I just give people a little bit of understanding here. If you go,
screen?
yeah, go ahead.
Book? Yep.
What's that?
This one? And I meant to ask you this too.
Yeah, so this is the booking feature, but if you just go back to the first, like when you did the search, the electrician, and if you scroll down to show the map, so I want people to see if you maybe you can go back one more page. Yeah. Can you get it? There's the maps. Okay. So what I want people to see is that there's 2 places that people can find your business when they do a search. If you're a local business, number one is at the top there, which is the Google Screen or Google Guaranteed, or otherwise known as Google Local Service Ad section. And then the other section is the section down below that is optimized for local businesses. These are the only 2 local optimized campaign types or places. Let's just translate it into English. Places that you can show up on the first page of Google is either in the Google Local Service Ad section or on the map section down below. If you show up in both, you actually almost double the likelihood that somebody's going to call your business. So it's
kind of like the equivalent of what Google does now. If you search anything, right? There's the sponsored ads, and then there's the organic ones.
Yes.
Right? So
exactly. So the sponsored is the Google Local Service Ads at the top. You pay for those phone calls, and the ads and the lead volume can be turned on like a faucet, like immediately, because you're paying for those inbound phone calls. The organic, so to speak, is what S is showing right now, which is the Google Maps section. And there's only 3 businesses, we call it the 3-pack typically, that are shown on that first page for both the local service ad section and the map section. And if you're, like I said, if you're showing up in both, they work synergistically together, because people see that you're up at the top and that you've got that Google Guaranteed checkbox, and they see that you're down below on the maps, and they see that you're organically ranked, and then you're gonna get a lot of phone calls. So if you have any questions, please let us know. I will tell you though, and this is a very important fact, that about 40% of people, 30 to 40% of people will select from the Google Local Service Ad section, and about, I'd say 20 to 30% or 30% of people will select from the maps. And then the other remaining will select from the sponsored regular pay-per-click ads, which are below the Google Local Service Ads, which is very important for you as a business owner to note and to identify that the pay per click, where you pay per click, you don't pay per phone call. Okay, you're paying per click. I would much rather pay per phone call, because I don't care about clicks.
Yeah. So this one is a pay per click, right?
Yeah.
It's sponsored. It's right below your local service ads, pay-per-click, then organic, and businesses that I think you're
Yep.
saying there's some you get organic from paid, right? And they're blending that in a bit. And then when I search outside the 3-pack, right?
Yep.
Now I would think I'd get organic, but now there's also another element of like of paid.
No. Look. It's very important to see what you're saying. Is that yes? Let me just break that down. Okay, if you go back one, let me just deconstruct this. So if you go back, you're exactly right. At the very top is the Google Local Service Ad section. Okay, above that. Okay, that's the Google Local Service Ad section. Okay, it's got the green checkbox. It says Google Guaranteed. Those businesses have been vetted by Google. They're all verified by Google. Meaning, if anything happens for a consumer that buys a service from these businesses, Google actually reimburses those people up to $2,000. And the reason why Google created this Google Local Service Ad section is because a lot of businesses were fake businesses that were in the Google Business Profile section down below, or the Google, otherwise known as Google Maps. And the writing's on the wall, okay? Because what S is saying is that if you go to the map section down below, like he's doing, and then you click to go to more businesses, you would think that it would be more businesses that are on the Google Maps, but it's not. It takes you to the Google guaranteed businesses. So the writing's on the wall of what Google is intending to do here. Their intention long term, I think, is to get paid for all of these organic leads that are being generated. You can see now they're infusing the Google Local Service Ads into the Google Maps section, so that you're effectively choosing, when you go to more businesses, from the top, from Google Local Service Ads businesses, and not just Google organic businesses or Google Business Profile businesses. So yeah, very, very good point there for people to identify. And here's the main thing, guys, is what are the 3 options that people have, or 2 options that people have to connect with these businesses, whether it's on Google Local Service Ads or Google Business Profile? It's either call or message, and that's it. And most small business owners don't have the time, energy, or effort to actually answer the phone because they're wearing many hats, or they're actually doing the service themselves. So for those guys, it's imperative that they have a solution that can answer the phone for them, or at least something or something that can answer the phone for them, and or respond to those message leads, because they're not going to do it. And so that creates a very poor experience for people that are finding businesses on the Google platform. So Google doesn't want that. Google wants for people that find businesses on their platform to have a great experience. And that's why it's so important that the phone calls are answered and the messages are responded to in 30 seconds or less. Because who likes to get a phone call or make a phone call to a business and then have to wait to get a hold of somebody, or have to go to a voicemail, or to send a message lead and have it responded to, a day later? And by the way, Google keeps track of this. I mean, you can see, if you go to the local service ad section, you can see where you go down to where it says more businesses, and you drill a little deeper in the Google Local Service Ad section, you'll see that it says below the businesses that actually respond quickly, it'll say typically replies in minutes, or typically replies in days. So who do you think is going to get most of the leads that are message leads? It's going to be the businesses that actually typically reply in minutes. And so there you go. So you can see it says typically replies in minutes, or hours, or whatever. So this is, as a business owner, this is the holy grail. I mean, if you can get in that section there, have it say typically replies in minutes. And I can tell you, the only way that you're consistently going to be able to do that is to leverage a technology like an agent to respond 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And here's the other thing, because most businesses don't even turn on the messaging. Why? Because they don't even know, like our previous client that we just talked to, most of the leads that seem to come in over messages are not that good. So they're effectively taking their time to answer these phone calls, or respond to these message leads, and they're not even that great of leads, And so why do that when you can outsource that and keep your message leads on? by the way, are half price. The message leads are half price of a voice lead. So if you can automate the responding of if you can automate the response of those message leads, and hand it off to an agent, you're going to get better results. You're going to get a higher conversion rate, and you're ultimately going to make more money, and you're going to get more leads from Google at the same time, because you're creating a great experience, for the end user. So if you have any questions, please post them. We'd love to respond to any questions that you have.
Yeah, Ryan, I got a question for you. Why do you think the message leads are half the price of the phone leads?
Yeah, I think the message leads are half the price because I think Google is trying to incentivize businesses to actually use the messaging platform. And that's a good question. I don't, yeah, it's a really good question. Well, here's the other thing. Well, here's the reason why is because it's a money thing. Because Google can sell that same lead 4 times.
Yeah.
And here's what you guys got to understand is when somebody fills this sheet out right here, like to fill out a message lead or send it to somebody, they send their name, email, phone number if they want to, and then on the next screen, if you fill this out, just go ahead and fill it out, and then we'll submit it, and we'll make it so that they can not have to pay for it. But what's going to happen is if you say it's it's something silly, then they're not going to have to pay for it anyway. But if you submit this, watch what happens on the next screen. There you go. Oh, by the way, if you would like to send this same lead to these other businesses, just tick the box here for the businesses that you'd like to send this same message to, and we'll send it to them as well. And by the way, you can see that those businesses are businesses that typically reply very quickly. So this is the spin wheel or the flywheel that you get as a business owner when you use an agent to respond to these leads, is that if you respond to them faster, then you're going to show up higher in Google, and you're also going to be much more likely, even if you're not chosen to send that initial message lead to be one of these 3 that's on the second page. And by the way, if you have an AI agent that responds instantly, you're going to get the lead because most likely these other 3 competitors of yours do not have an AI agent in place to respond to that lead instantly, which, by the way, if it's a text conversation, you cannot tell that it's an agent. So effectively, the person feels like they're responded to by a human. And so Google is actually, even though they're only charging you half price, they're actually making that same half price amount 4 times. So actually, they're making twice the amount, even though they're only charging you half the amount.
Yeah.
So I hope you guys understand that. This is really the reason why. It's a great question that Google did it that way. And this is where you can help give Google what it wants, so you can get what you want. So it's just the way that the game is played. So the question is do you want to play the game the way that the rules have made the game, or do you want to? Everybody can say how much they don't like the way that the game is played or the system in it, but if you know the rules and you know how to play the game, then you can modify what you're doing to get the best results that you want, to get the outcome that you're looking for. The problem is that most businesses don't know all the rules of the game, and that's why we're educating businesses so that you guys can use these tools, leverage these tools. You can try to implement them yourself, but the question is what's your time most best used for? Is it to set up these agents, or is it to run your business? And I think that the best use of your time is to do what you do best. So what are you showing here?
So I'm actually curious about this, Ryan. So I've seen them have a third option, right? You got call, message, which isn't really message, it's a lead form, right? And then book services. And this is the first time I've seen this, where they've integrated with a third party, I guess, calendar system. or
Yeah, it's a booking.
CRM?
It's a booking system. Yeah.
It's a booking system.
Yep.
Got it. And so just going through the experience, if I was somebody looking for an electrician, right? And in a way, millennials and younger go, God forbid I have to talk to anybody on the phone. I'm probably going to go to the message thing, drop a couple of leads, hope they get back to me. Or with this booking, like, why even have that call, right? The outcome of that call is supposed to be, I'm going to book a service request with you. And now, if you think about kind of the funnel, like this is so much farther in the funnel if I can just pick a time then and there. And so I don't know if it's opening up a second. If you see what happens when I click that, are you seeing the
I am.
service button? Okay. Yeah. And yep, you select a couple of things. Okay. That's interesting for anybody who goes, I need this service and I want something, within 2 minutes of looking for it to have a call to action or a service appointment. Then this is a much better experience.
Yeah. Yeah. You mean just be able to book the appointment, you're saying?
Just be able to book the appointment. Why do we even need to have that initial call, right? If it was just a question of, what's your name, what's your contact info, what address, and what kind of service do you need, and qualifying whether it's something we offer, right?
Yeah.
If I'm a motivated customer that wants an electrician to fix my ceiling fan, like I'd want something in the calendar as quickly as possible.
Yep.
And
that can be done via messages as well with what we're doing, because you can put that link in there, like a calendar link, for example. But yeah, there is a functionality where somebody can integrate with, like, for example, Service Titans is one of the integrations that they have, is Service Titans and Workies and all these, these CRMs that a lot of these service-based businesses have. They can connect their CRM effectively, which has a calendar built into it in order to book an appointment right on the system. And I will say though that there's mixed reviews with that. I mean, some people don't like to, they like the messaging because they get more messages and they actually get more leads through the message platform versus the booking platform. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, and I'll go through it, like going through a guided flow like this. I will say there's some questions that I would prefer a conversation, right? The benefit of having a human there is, like, I want to see whether it's a free service request. If I got to pay for it, I'm going to go to the next guy, right?
Yeah.
So in a way, that's where the AI agent works kind of like the best of both worlds.
Yep.
You want some structure around it to collect the information that you as a business want from them and to qualify them. But then you want flexibility for the customer to be able to ask questions. Do you offer discounts? Like how late are you open till? Right.
Yeah.
And an AI agent that is trained on a business, with your hours, address, any pricing thing you want to reveal, can relay that information to somebody like me who's trying to book an appointment. Before I book the appointment, I want to ask these things. And so I think there's something to be desired, that's a better experience than what even this kind of bottom of funnel, like, interaction is.
I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, so, the opportunity for a business owner to really, leverage. Okay, so we've got, hey, hello, I see that, who that is, but let us know any questions that you have. We'd love to answer any questions. If you've got any questions about the 3 R's that I talked about: reviews, radius, response rate. Thank you for sharing your screen there, S. And the most important thing that you can do as a business owner is to understand, what the options are. Most of the businesses that we actually talk to, they don't know the rules of the game, so to speak. They don't know, even what I went through, which is the Google local service ads is at the top. You've got, the pay per click below that, and then below that you've got the Google Maps, and the difference between those three. There's a vast difference between those 3 different areas on Google, which is still where most people are searching for businesses. And the the typical ranking factors that a business would use to rank on in the maps, or now it's called Google Business Profile section, are completely different versus what businesses would use to rank or do in order to rank in the local service ad section. This is cool, man, and I can't believe it's free. What? Oh, what's free? Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's hopefully, I don't know if you're a business owner or whatever. We'd love to know any questions that you have. So yeah, we're looking forward to, to bringing this technology to businesses, because right now it's very early stages. I mean, like I said, we just got off a phone call with a criminal agents, a criminal firm that is a firm that is an attorney that has multiple locations, and what they're doing is they're, he's starting to see, as is our other clients, they're starting to see that they start using the artificial intelligence or agent to respond to the local service ads, messages, and phone calls. And pretty soon, before you know it, they're using it to do take care of other aspects of their business, like the referral aspect of their business, or the identification
on their website.
Yeah, or on their website. And that's a great, you can show an example, by the way, if you want. I mean, I don't know, if you want to, I wish I could show my screen, but if you want to show your screen, you can show like the conversational agency that, whatever, you can show I mean, why have a website chat, which, by the way, this firm had a chat bot on their website, but it didn't have a conversation with people that are going to their website. It was just a glorified form. That's all it was. There's no way to actually go in and have a conversation with it in order to get answers, to questions that you might have.
Conversation with agency.ai, right?
Yeah.
I'm not sure why that's not showing.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you, that's strange. If you go to Google, just type in conversational agency, it shows up as the top. And it should show up as one of the top. Then you just click on it. That's how I just got there. Do you see it? Conversational agency.
Nope.
Okay.
I can show them ours.
Yeah.
So site messaging improve. Not sure, this might not be the best one. Let me. So this is our builder platform where, on the call, I think we really got that agent, that law firm's attention when I say, as a company that's providing these AI agents, we don't have an intake team. We don't have a human intake team. Qualifying, explaining what we do, talk about pricing. It's all done by our chatbot, by our agent, right? So this is our site. When we first put this on, it was on another one of our sites, where as soon as we put the chatbot on, our site traffic went up 10 times, because whatever people were searching, they wanted it, they found us and they stayed on the page chatting with the AI. So imagine you're a local business and you're an electrician, and typical websites, people would bounce in 30 seconds, right? But with this, because there's an agent there, that's almost having that initial conversation, right? Like, yes, I'm interested in your services, right? And now it's doing the qualification, personal or business use, business. Okay, well, let me get, some information. What would you like it to do? General Q&A. All right. Role, owner of Okay. Yeah, sure. Set up a consultation call. Yes. And by the way, I've spent 30 seconds on here already, but I'm still going, right? What's the business site address? Let's just put a random one that I own, right? Email address, name, email, Nestle, xmail.com. Okay, and here goes the calendar link, right? And if I end up booking through here, right, and I close this up, Google's going to be like, hey, whatever they were searching for, whether it was electrician, law firm, like they found it, they stayed on there for a minute, right? And then they never clicked another link. So they must have gotten what they wanted. And so SEO wise, like this is really powerful too. And I think for businesses, this is what you want to get to. You always have these call to action. So it's like call us or book, and all these things. They're all intermediary steps. You probably take 6 steps afterwards to actually get to the appointment, including chatting with somebody, right? And whereas this, you're already there.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, it's and this is why it's so important for you guys as business owners to really understand, the potential here, not only for responding to Google local service ads, inbound lead generation, phone calls, and message leads, so that you can get more leads from Google because you're creating a great experience. But like S is saying, you can see the potential here beyond what we're showing. I mean, the potential here is, because this is the question that we're getting now that we've got clients that are giving Google what it wants and getting all their calls answered in 30 seconds. Which, by the way, there's a lot involved in that. In terms of setting up the plumbing, because what we've done here is we've created an AI agent that from what we know is one of the first of its kind. Why I'm saying that is because it's a agent that is connected to both a voice and a messaging agent on one phone number. So you can effectively have a voice conversation and or a text conversation with this agent, and it can do, it can be connected anywhere that you can put a phone number, so that there's there's these answers. Thanks, babe. So that there's these answers that are given that you're seeing, like, and also this can be in the form of a chat widget on a website. So there's many ways to have a conversation with this agent. One is with the chat widget on the website. Another one is via text. Another one is via voice.
By the way,
yeah,
Ryan, I haven't even shown you this. You see how I said, you're in a conversation with somebody and you're like, this is an AI, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I want to talk to a person, right?
Yeah.
And I've said, yes, a human has been contacted to assist you with your request, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if you see what I'm pulling in right now to my email. So and I'm the business owner, right? And I am the business owner of Messages Approved, right? This is the email that just came through.
Okay. So the AI, this is another way that the AI can interact with on your behalf with the information that you give it, because you've helped it, you formed its memory, you formed how you've given it the instructions on how you want it to communicate via text, via voice, and via email, which is what email.
So this is the notification to the business owner now, right? So somebody's come in, found your site, and said, oh yeah, this is a bot, I gave you this information, but now I want to talk to a human, right? So this is the notification to the human that I get as an email, right? And I basically just want, okay, tell me their information, right? Summarize what happened, right? But then I also want to see his transcript. So it's almost like the ability now for me to follow up is immediate, right? Because now as a business owner, I can be like, oh, well, their email is this. I can look up their conversation and I'm just going to reply to them right now.
Wow. Yeah.
Right? That's 2 minutes.
Yep. So the AI is responding via email as well.
We've only teased this feature, but when somebody creates an AI agent, they get notified. So if you're the business owner building an agent on our platform,
Yeah.
as soon as, because you have to register with the email address, as soon as you're registered, it makes you a user. It sends you an email telling you, okay, here's the links to your bot, and you can actually reply to that email and actually talk to the bot that you just created.
Okay. So yeah, so the notifications is really important. So I mean, not only can the agent respond to emails for you, but you're saying the primary thing you're trying to focus on here is the fact that it'll let you know immediately. It'll send you notifications
Yep.
on when conversations happen.
Yep. And if it required a human. So, like I said, we don't have a human onboarding intake team because we don't have to. All I have to do is check my email, and get notified of something like this, and then be able to respond to it immediately.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the human escalation part, right? You call an automated system, you're like, representative.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, when you do get a representative, the current experience is, oh, this is whatever from whatever, tell me about your problem, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times they don't even have the transcript. You've already said everything that you needed to do. You got frustrated before. And so now you're like, oh, I want a human because you're not handling my problem. And you have to reiterate all that, right?
Yeah.
But with something like this human escalation part, I'm like, I got the summary of what they needed, what they wanted, what the interaction was. Here's the transcript. So give me a moment while I read up on it. Okay, great. You're having a problem with this. How can I help?
Wow. So it's evaluating the transcript, which is effectively the email, and identifying information that would make it so that there needs to be a human, response.
Yep.
And then notifying the human when that needs to happen. That's yeah. And this yeah. Go ahead.
So for a lot of businesses, right? Like they think they need all this infrastructure, and you can think about all the SaaS companies, CRMs, all of that, that have kind of built massive businesses around this, right? Mm-hmm. But for your plumber and electrician that doesn't have that budget, right? They go, okay, but I use email, I use text messages, I use calls. Those are the communication systems I have. I don't want to pay for an additional service. Yeah. And well, now it's a possibility. The only additional service you need is the AI agent you would create with us, right? And you don't need any software anymore.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. 100%. And so if you're on this call, you have any questions, please, post any questions in the comments below the video, and we'll see those, and then we'll be able to display them on the screen and answer them for you. This can really, not only save you time, it can also save you money, and then also make you more money by getting you more leads, like I said. So, if and the key is to work with an agency that knows how to set up the AI. It's one thing to be able to set up an artificial intelligence agent that can respond to voice and to messages on one phone number, and to make it work from a knowledge base so that you can customize it to your business. Like the client that we're just talking to, he's like, I've got a responder. It's responding to message leads, but it doesn't have a brain. It doesn't think. It just sends, it doesn't understand, for example, when the person asks a question about a criminal case, if it's actually a criminal case or not. And so that's one of the things that he was trying to get us to show him. And we created a bot literally in minutes. And now he's going to test it out and play with it for a week. And then, he's ready to get started because he's seen everything that he wants to see in terms of what the agent needs to do in order to make his life easier and to make it so that all of his message leads can be responded to in 30 seconds so that he can get more leads. The other really important thing is that it's the plumbing, so to speak, in the beginning that's really important. Meaning you want to route those conversations in the right way so that the AI is optimized. And so that's a strategy in and of itself. So if you're using systems, call tracking systems like CallRail or Go High Level, CRM like Go High Level that does have, call tracking built into it, you definitely want to work with an agency that understands how to set that CRM up or that call tracking platform up so that it optimizes the agent specifically for local service ads. That's what we do. That's why we're so specific in what we do, because we know what Google wants in terms of answering the phone and how the AI needs to be set up in order to give Google what it wants so that you get what you want. And the way that we set it up for voice initially is at least for now, until the AI becomes so good that you can't tell that it's not human. And even at that point, we'll probably still have it say, hey, this is Ryan. I'm an AI agent for Accelerate Marketing, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, in other words, it says that in the beginning, the AI agent says at the beginning so that the person knows that it's an agent. We're not trying to pull a fast one. We're just like, hey, it's an agent. If you want to use it, I mean, if you want to ask me any question, go ahead. I'm here to help. If you want to be transferred to a human, we can transfer you to human. If you want to schedule an appointment, we can do that as well. All those things. But the key is to make sure that you're working with an agency that understands how to set up the plumbing so that it actually gives the humans the first 20 seconds to answer the phone right now. And then the AI agent the last 10 so that it's still answered. The call still answered in 30 seconds. And then you want to use things like simultaneous calling so you can ring as many numbers as you can at the same time. To again increase the likelihood that the call is answered, and then like call flow, so you're ringing certain numbers from 9 to 5 and then other numbers from 5 to 9. So in other words, you'd probably want the agent to be on first line for voice and for messaging after hours. And that's the other great thing is that having an agent allows you to go and like have your business hours be 24/7. So you'll get leads just from that alone, just from the fact that you actually are you're able to have your hours be 24 hours, 7 days a week, So, yeah.
So I'm glad you brought up that timing aspect, Ryan, because I was always kind of curious, even personally, when I'm looking for a service business, right? Mm-hmm. When I'm working during working hours, I'm not thinking about that. I'm doing things for work. And if you need a lawyer, electrician, all of that, I probably do it at night, right? And when you look at Google Trends, for example, just personal injury law, right? And look at the times that people are looking for doing research on a personal injury lawyer, something like 80% of that search traffic is after hours, right?
Yep.
So can you imagine that? If you had the ability to interact with that person after hours, so 80% of the time means that it's after hours, means 20% is what your current addressable market is. That means if you just had a 24/7 agent, right?
Yeah.
That's 5x, right? So, and it's interesting because think when you're like doing your research on any kind of service, electrician, oh, there's a leak, the faucet I've needed to fix that for some time. I'm doing research. Being able to get to somebody and book that and ask the questions that you want while you're laying in bed at, midnight, right?
Yeah.
Like that's invaluable. And that's where the highest intent is, right?
Yeah.
And so I think there's a massive boon for businesses on that aspect alone to be able to service somebody who is looking for your service the time they found you.
Yeah. Yeah. At that moment. Yeah. I agree. And that's the key. I mean, it's you definitely want to, that's the thing that I think that people are really going to find is going to be a game changer long term is, okay, for example, 20% of businesses that we talk to do not answer the phone in the first 30 seconds. We know that, at least that's like minimum. So if you instead say, okay, we're going to have the AI agent answer those 20% of calls, and now because of that, you've met the person where they're at, when they're calling, the conversion rate's going to be much higher. So I think here's the thing is that with an agent, the conversion rate is going to be higher long term for any business, because we know that the average business doesn't actually, if you look at, there's a study that was done, a Harvard study that was done by, Harvard Business School. They found that something along the lines of, like, it was unbelievable. Like, I think 25% of phone calls that come into a business don't ever get responded to. They don't get answered, and they don't ever get called back. It's only like maybe 20% of calls that are answered, even in the, or that are responded to, let alone answered in the first 5 minutes, that they're even responded to in the next. Are you looking at the trends? Yeah.
Yep. Okay, I searched personal injury lawyer, right, across the United States over the past week. Search volume, right?
Yeah.
When does it start? It's low. So these are the hours that people are open, right? The lowest, 9 a.m. up until, you're probably going to come home from work, dinner, 8, 9, and then you're laying in bed, 10.
Yep.
That's where it goes through the roof.
Yeah.
Right? And this is the past 7 days across the United States. They stop at 8. So for, I would say, 90% of businesses, this search volume, when people are interested, is when they're not able to answer the phone or respond.
Yeah. Yeah, that is like.
Let's look up electrician. Look at that. The lowest, the start of the workday, right? 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and it goes up throughout the night. And then when you're laying in bed, pops.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that's like very revealing to anybody who goes, okay, well, a benefit of this is I can do after hours on the weekends. And, it's the irony.
Yeah.
A lot of these local services business, when people need your services, is actually not during normal hours or looking for your services.
It's not. It's a paradox. You think that it's actually during business hours, but it's really after hours. So this is why it's important to have an agent there ready to take these calls when somebody is ready to call your business, And so I think it's really important for people to see that. I really, I encourage you, if you have any, if you guys have any questions or comments, to give us a call, post any questions that you have on the video after it's gone live. Like I said, we've streamed this to our 3 different YouTube channels, and I'm probably going to post it later to our LinkedIn and Instagram, and then to Twitter and a few other destinations as well. But let us know what questions you have. If you want to get a hold of us and have us do an audit, we can do an audit. I'll just, you can text audit to the 619-304-5155 phone number for a free audit of your local service ads. And we definitely are able to, to help you guys. And let us know, like, what your questions are and how we can help you. I mean, we do, like I said, we do help businesses to generate another $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month through the optimization of their Google local service ads and their Google business profile pages. And we do that. This is one of the strategies that we use that we implement in order to get those results that you guys are all looking for. And it's one that nobody's really using right now. And I encourage you to, just like when the internet started, it was like the businesses that took the action first were the ones that got most of the benefit. And so hey, Ryan. Oh, hey, Taylor. What's going on? Yeah. So
Ryan, I want to bring up the question. So when I brought up that statistic to an agency that we talked to yesterday, right, and I asked, what times are people reaching out? And he seemed to think it was during normal working hours. So when they set up the local service ad, right, you do put in your business hours during that time, right?
Yep.
And so he must have felt that, hey, our volume that comes through local business, comes through normal business hours. But that could be a function of when somebody's searching for their businesses after hours, they're not even showing up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, of course. I mean, and if they're identifying that they don't take clients after 5 o'clock on Google local service ads, and they're not going to show up. Exactly.
So just think about that as a next call to action for any business that adopts an AI agent. You switch that, and immediately you get 5x search traffic because nobody else is open at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. That's exactly what I was saying. I mean, you can. That's another big reason a lot of people don't go 24/7 because they don't have somebody to answer the phone. And this is the reason why, leveraging an agent can definitely help that. So, yeah, it's a great point. It's one that we make many times with our clients, and they don't have to fear messaging leads because they'll get notified immediately. That's one of the things that we do in our system is we'll notify the client whenever a message lead comes in.
And think
So,
about that. Think about that actually catch 22, right? About typically replies within a couple of minutes and a couple of hours, right? So let's just say somebody's laying in bed looking for an electrician, right?
yeah,
And they're doing that at midnight and they put that thing out. Nobody's getting to that until 9 o'clock in the morning.
morning.
Right? So without an agent, your average response time it's going to be increased, and therefore you get lower volume. So even if you had somebody who would pick up the reply within a minute, right,
Yeah.
during business hours, you average that out over the volume, and it's typically replies in an hour, in a couple of hours.
Yeah, just because you're saying it's gonna average out to be longer than what you think. Because why were you saying that again?
Because that's probably what we're seeing.
Yeah.
We've talked to businesses that are like, wait, we have a great intake team. They answer calls within 20 seconds, right?
Yep.
But they probably still won't get that typically replies in a couple of minutes if they turned on we're open 24 hours because you
Yeah.
average that out, right? And so the only way they could achieve that with that higher search volume, that 5x search volume, with the typically replies in a minute, right, is with an AI agent. That's the only way they could do that.
Because they in other words, because if they go 24/7, then they can effectively answer those. They can respond to those messages immediately, as opposed to the messages that come in that might go for 24 hours or go to the next day.
Yeah, 18
Yeah.
hours, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Or
And I
yeah.
guess, a call center may be able to address that. But then we start thinking about pricing there, right? How long,
Yeah.
how much does it cost to get somebody to answer those after hours?
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, guys. I mean, and even the after hours, the call services, when we use them, I mean, I'll tell you, 30% of the calls go to a music hold. So when they go to music hold, those are calls that are counted as being missed. So they're immediately dinging you, and you don't even know it. You're being dinged by using a call service that's supposed to be 24/7, but they're really not. They're actually giving you, missed calls 30% of the time.
Right, that's interesting. So then you're beholden to that call center and the availability of their representatives.
Yep.
Not having any control of that.
Yeah.
And we've talked to some clients, right? But we said, we talked about pricing, and we go on average, an AI agent costs you $1 or $2 per conversation, right?
Yeah.
And they go, well, my call center is $15. And then there's some that will complain, I use a call center, but they have a new employee every month.
Right.
That doesn't know the script, doesn't know anything our business, can't answer a question. It's frustrating. So imagine paying 10 times as much without that personalized service. That that ability to service that client with the knowledge of your business.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's exactly what you want to make sure of is that you want that same script to be followed every single time. And the only way to assure that is to make it so that it's an agent, because otherwise humans will do what humans will do. I mean, they'll go off script, and yet there's no objectivity to it. It's super subjective. And a lot of times humans forget. AI agents, they don't forget. They remember everything. And so they follow the script every single time, which actually is one of the things that we're doing is we're actually having it follow a script. Like we're giving it the script, which how's that going? Like I know we were going to do that for.
Well, I'm really glad you asked. And the reason I go, you need somebody who does this professionally.
Yeah.
Is because there's an iteration process, right?
Yep.
So with a couple of our deployments together, we had a script in there that would collect certain information, right? But that wasn't flexible enough because it would get redundant and the AI would be like, might ask the same question again, right? And now what we're finding is, okay, now that we can see it made these 20 calls, let's now audit, right? 30% of them, they asked a question that was somewhat revealed in how the person, approach like that initial outreach, right? And so I've been doing this for years, and in a way, I kind of said the best AI instruction or prompts or script is actually just like 3 sentences.
Yeah.
It's you are a representative of XYZ law firm talking to me, somebody who's interested in our services.
Yep.
Ask me questions to get my contact information, and then tell me you will escalate this to someone on the team, right? Don't even go through the call flow. Don't even put that rigidity in, in that initial interaction, because it sounds robotic and we have technology that sounds more human than humans do, right?
Yeah.
Because conversations can go any which way, and you want to leave that flexibility for it to react on the spot. And then the prompt, expanding that, just needs to be an iterative process. You look at the last 20 calls, okay, they've had that freedom to say that, ooh, but I really want to ask them this information. So, okay, let's reintroduce that rigidity. And so there's no really right or wrong way to do it, but I'm glad you asked that question because we're encountering that with some of our clients that say, hey, the agent's been live for 3 weeks and I'm seeing like 30% of them, they repeat the same information. So we're telling them, okay, let's try gutting the script, right? And just letting them freeform.
Yeah.
And so there's a process of that, and then we'll get another 20, 40, and then just keep auditing that. And so we've kind of said that like this is no different from what you'd be doing with a human, with a call center or somebody in-house, right? You have somebody who comes to the door, you tell them a script, they stick to the script, right?
Yeah.
But you're gonna have to train them over time.
Yeah.
And they probably get reinforced over time from
Well, I think the difference is that you train this agent once, and it's an agent that can effectively do the job of an infinite number of people. So you just have to train one person or one agent, as opposed to training hundreds of different people over and over and over again. When somebody leaves, you got to train another person. That training process is gone. You just do it once and for one agent, and then it takes as many calls as you want.
Yeah. I mean, the call that we just got off with the criminal attorney, we were actually doing that on the spot, and maybe it'd be helpful for people to see this, right? Like, while we were talking to him, he brought up a use case that was like, okay, well, this happened, and I'm not sure how the AI would respond on that. And so I'm going to try to pull up that screen.
Yeah. Taylor said, good point. So so here's an example of our prompt. So, one of the things that this particular client wants is they just want to kick the tires. They want to test the agent, have it respond, see if it responds the way that we want it to. And by the way, this is just the prompt. We also have a knowledge base that it pulls from of permanent information that the agent can pull from in order to identify where it goes next. So it's like personalized information, like either from your website or from a video that you recorded, that you pull out the audio, you have it transcribed, then you upload that text, and then that is a basis for the outside of the prompt for the agent to use as a reference point. And then there's also a third level of refinement that they really liked is
like So we had to go through a script of, is this a new or existing one, to kind of filter them out. New, right? Tell me about.
Yeah. So we want to identify if it's, we want it to identify if it's a criminal case or not.
Yep. Yep. And so we had to go through a certain script, but let's just say I didn't like that. Like, we said that if it wasn't clear that a crime has been committed, like, this is not a right fit, and to refer them off to the website. But I actually don't like this answer, right? And I go, it sounds like crime. We're able to assist. Right? And this is the training process. Like, if you think about a human training your employees to do this very subjective, like, work, you're gonna have to do that every time.
Yep.
That's with this, you do it once.
Yep.
And this is easier. And when you go, okay, like, let's just say a business right now, any business, what visibility do you have on seeing how your intake team behaved?
Mm-hmm.
And while the technology is there, right, most businesses don't.
Yeah.
And imagine now having that additional visibility with an AI employee as opposed to a human employee.
Yeah.
You can still talk to your employee and be like, how many calls did we have today? Break me down the percentage of calls that were related to XYZ, right?
Yeah.
Not able to do that, right? So that reporting visibility is there. Like I've said for a while, when we had our bots out for our business, this was my morning coffee, right? I wake up in the morning and go, let me look at all the calls yesterday.
Yeah.
How to do, right? And that's possible now for businesses because they have an AI employee as opposed to a human employee.
Yeah. Yep. Oh yeah. 100%. I mean, all right. So I want to make sure that we, that I want to keep it to about an hour. I think this is great. Hopefully you guys got a lot of information here, and you feel the same. I mean, I really think that, that what we talked about today is going to be valuable to businesses in terms of like how they view the AI's ability, or the agent's ability, to be able to help their business, specifically around Google local service ads, to give Google what it wants, like we talked about, and for both messaging and voice response times, so that you can answer all the calls and respond to the messages within 30 seconds. Then when you do that, you get more leads and you get a better conversion rate. So let us know if you have any other questions. You can text. I'll just put this up here again, banner. So here's the number, 619-304-5155, for a free audit of your local service ads pages. We typically take about an hour to do that, and they're very detailed. And we'll see if you're a good fit and see if we think we can help you. If we can, we will. If not, we'll let you know as well. We only want to take on clients that we know that we can help, and we've been doing this for a long time, almost 15 years, and we're very much specialists in local lead generation for businesses, for local businesses. So anyway, thanks, S, and let us know if you have any questions, and we'll see you guys later. Talk soon.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye.
Bye.